Okay, so this video is going to be focusing on what's going on through our neck and our shoulders. Many of you working from home at the moment, possibly leaning over a desk that's not ideally the desk that you would normally be working at. Hopefully you have set it up the way that it should be, and you've made as many sort of preparations for working from home as possible. But we're all very guilty of sort of leaning over and possibly looking down at our phones and things like this. So this exercise is going to be all about opening up through the shoulders, getting some mobility through the upper part of your back and sort of strengthening through the shoulders. So what we will do is find yourself a nice place to stand first of all, and we're just going to start mobilising the shoulders just by circling them round. Nice little circles, and as your shoulders sort of sweep round, what you're going to do is keep your shoulders going, but imagine your shoulders are drawing together and sliding into the opposite back pockets as you take them round. Not too much of a squeeze, just an encouragement, and just almost feel your shoulder blades sort of floating down your back. Try not to over force them. The other thing I tend to notice when I'm working, certainly with patients giving them this exercise, is that they tend to do this sort of chin poke. So just be careful that it is just your shoulders that are going round, and what you're not doing is this sort of chin poke to get that extra stretch. So just keep your shoulders mobilising around like that. Okay, great. When you've done that, I'm going to get you to take a nice deep breath in as you bring your arms up, and breathe out as your arms come down. Deep breath in, you raise your arms up, and breathe out as your arms come down. Okay, keep going with your arms like that. What I want you to just focus on for the last few of these is this gap between your ears and your shoulders. That should stay the same the whole way your arms are going up. What you don't want to happen is your shoulders to end up hunching up. Okay, that is just encouraging the tension around your neck. So try and keep that same distance. Nice deep breath in as your arms come up, and breathe out as you come down. Lovely. Last one. Breathe in as your arms come up, and breathe out as your arms come back down. Great. Just circle your shoulders round again. You'll start to get your neck moving. So just think about just very slightly engaging through the shoulders by just floating those shoulder blades just down a little bit, almost like you're anchoring them down softly. Okay, and we're just going to keep your head. Imagine there is a shelf and your chin is just sweeping along the top of the shelf. To look to one side and bring it back to the centre, and looking to the other side. Bring back to the front, and again look over your right shoulder. Come back to the centre and looking to the left. Perfect. And we're going to just take the ear down to your shoulder. So for this one, it is ear to your shoulder, and just feel the stretch coming down through your neck. What it's not is bringing your shoulder up. So keep your shoulders slightly engaged, drawing down, bring your ear to your shoulder, come back up, and then to the other side. And just feel that stretch as it's coming over the side you're moving away from. And come back to the centre. One more to each side. Take your ear to your shoulder. Feel that stretch. Lovely. And come back to the centre. One more to this side. Super. And come back to the centre. Now, what we're going to do is start to engage through this sort of upper core. Now, if you've got one of the bands, then take your band now. If you haven't, you don't need a band to do this. You can do the same sort of thing with a small towel or anything like that, because you don't need it to stretch for this exercise. You just need something to create a resistance. So if you do have a band, I would fold it in half so you've got some real strong resistance there. And take the band so that you are hip width apart with your hands. Again, just engage through the shoulders, slightly roll them back, let them glide down into your back pockets. Head is nice and lengthened. Imagine you're just lengthening through the spine, being drawn up. And from here, you're going to create a little bit of engagement, so you're pulling your hands away. You're not physically going to stretch it. You're just engaging into the band. And you'll notice as you do that, you feel the muscles start to engage across your shoulders. So a little bit of tension through that. And as you breathe out now, you're going to bring your arms, keep them lengthened the whole time as you bring your arms up, and breathe in as your arms come back down again. Good. Breathe out as your arms come up, and breathe in as you come back down. Good. Okay, breathe out as you lengthen up, and breathe in as you come back down. Now keep going with this. If you notice that your shoulders are a little bit sore, they just don't go the whole way, don't worry. Just work to where you're comfortable with. If all your arms do is come here, that's fine. That's as far as you're working to, and you're coming back down. As long as we're feeling just a bit of engagement going on through those shoulders, keep working through your comfortable range of movement. Everybody's shoulders are different mobilities. I've got quite flexible shoulders that can take my arms all the way back. Not everybody will be able to do that. Okay, last couple. Breathing out as your arms come up and breathe in as you come back down. Perfect. Okay, so if you do have the band, take it now to a single band. Okay, again with your hands hip width apart. I'm going to show you, if you haven't got a band, I'm going to show you in a second. So if you do have the band, what we're doing now is, again, bring your arms all the way up and just notice how my shoulders don't follow, the shoulders stay down. Once we're here, you're going to keep contact with the band, you're going to bend your elbows, bring it down behind your head, and your arms come back up and lower back down again. Okay, now just watch what happens with the neck. I'll show you from the side. Bring your arms up and then bend your arms as you come back down. What I haven't done is from here is taken my head forward, okay? If you get to here and the band comes down and it's sort of hitting you across the top of the head, that's fine. That is enough just to get some shoulder engagement and come back down. What I don't want you to do is sort of poke your head forwards. Now, if you don't have a band, absolutely fine. You do exactly the same thing. We're going to bring the arms up. When your arms are up to the top, turn your palms so you're facing forward and just bring your elbows down, squeeze and come back up again, lower the arms back down. Now, once you've got your arms up here, when you bring your arms down, you've got to imagine you're just trying to hold on to a water balloon between your shoulder blades. Okay, just give it a little squeeze. Something nice and soft that you can squash. Bring your arms up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. You'll feel the tension coming across your shoulders, between your shoulder blades, and lower back down again. Good. Bring your arms up and squeeze the arms back down. Perfect. Good. Good. Last one. Bringing the arms up. Draw the elbows down. Arms come back up and lower back down again. Perfect. We'll just swing the arms through. Just allow a little bit of movement. The aim now is to get some rotation going through this upper part of your body. Try to keep the hips relatively still, soft, so they're not, you know, massively swinging, but they're not rigid, holding forward. Just allow a little bit of movement as you swing your arms through. We're just getting some movement. Allow your spine to twist. Your chest bone is facing different directions as you're doing this. Swing the arms through. Get the arms a little bit higher if you can. Just bring them up. Perfect. Good. Ooh, find the lampshades if you've got things around you. Perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work a little bit more on this rotation through the upper part of your spine. So if you're new to this, the hand position would be in this position. So you're keeping your arms nice and close to you. And the reason we get you to put your hands in this sort of prayer position is to stop your chin dropping down. Okay, so your thumbs would go against your chest bone. Your longest finger is just there to make sure your chin doesn't drop down. If you've done this exercise before, if you've been to classes, you know what you're doing. Bring your arms out in front of you into this position. Your chin will stay level with where your watch would be. So, knees nice and soft. Make sure you're planting, not locking your knees back, and your feet are nice and soft on the floor that you're standing on. Shoulders, again, just draw them back. Make sure you're opening up through your collarbone as if it's sort of smiling at me. That's it. Hold your arms there. And what we're going to do is, as you breathe out, you're going to turn to one side and breathe in as you come back to the centre. Breathe out as you twist around to one side and breathe in as you come to the centre. Breathe out as you twist out. Breathe in as you come to the centre. Keep going with that. Breathe out as you twist to the side. Breathe in as you come to the centre. Now, you might be quite surprised that it feels quite restricted, because what we're going to ask is that your hips stay still for this one, and they are sort of pointing to the front of your mat or to the wall in front of you. So your hips stay completely still. The rotation is going to come through this upper part of your body. If your hands are in at the side, the same sort of thing. So you're breathing out as you go to one side, breathe in as you come to the centre, breathe out to go to the side, breathe in, come to the centre, breathe out, rotate out, breathe in, come to the centre. You'll feel the twist. And the more you do, the more free it should become. You'll get just a little bit further each time you do those exercises. Perfect. So just balance up on the one that you're doing. Make sure you've done the same both sides, and then just let your arms relax. And then you come down onto your knees. Okay, so for this one, we're just going to make sure you've got your pelvis in the nice position. So you're just trying to draw your hips forward, and as you draw your hips forward, you'll feel your glutes switch on. So they'll start to activate through there. And again, your arms nice and relaxed through here. We're going to do exactly the same with that rotation now, but just going to give us a little bit more sort of lower core activation and a bit more glutes. So if your hands were in this position, go back, or you may want to try with your arms out in front here. Okay, just be careful if your arms are out in front, as they get tired, they sort of end up like this a little bit more, which starts to curve you forwards a little bit more. So make sure you're able to keep your chest lifted and your arms in this position. And as you breathe out, twist around to the side. Or you'll feel that just activate a little bit more through there. Now you've got your glutes switched on as well. So you're breathing out as you turn to the side, and breathe in as you come to the centre. Breathe out to go to the side. Breathe in to come to the centre. Breathe out to go to the side. Keep that going. That's it. Just watch that your hips stay forwards. The temptation is for them to follow you. Just make sure your hips are facing through to the front the whole time. And just carry on until you've balanced up on both sides. Make the next one your last one. Finish up just there. Perfect. So we're going to take you down onto all fours now. So you are going to get yourself into a position that you have got your hands directly underneath your shoulders, and your knees are directly underneath your hips. Okay, your shoulders are going to slide down towards your back pocket, and you're going to make sure your back's in a nice neutral position, so we're not arching down and we're not drawing up too high. We're going to imagine that your back's nice and flat, as if you were resting a tray of drinks across there. Okay, neck nice and long. Have your eyes looking directly sort of forwards but in front of you. And we're going to work with the hands first of all. We're going to activate through the muscles. So what I want you to imagine that you're going to do, you're going to imagine you are lifting a hand up. And all you're doing is lifting it up. So a piece of paper, just a tiny piece of paper, could slide underneath. What we're not doing is this, because this will knock your shoulders out and you're going to tip that tray of drinks. So imagine you are going to just draw up with the arm. So think about it first. See if you can just lift that hand, pop it back down again, and then onto the other side. Think about drawing up right hand and popping it back down again. Drawing up the left hand and popping it back down again. Draw up the right, pop it back down again. It's actually more difficult than you think. You'll notice that as soon as you lift one of your hands, you will automatically draw in through your tummy area. Okay, so just a couple more. Just draw up with one arm, pop it back down. Draw up with the other arm and pop it back down. Perfect. Just take your weight off your hands if you need to. Just give them a few little circles. Just loosen them out. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work through the upper part of the back, just getting the arms to extend out and forward. So again, just make sure you've got your spine in that nice neutral position again. And as you breathe out, we're going to float one of your arms forwards, nice and long. And breathe in as you come back. Breathe out, lengthen the arm forward. Breathe in as it comes back. Breathe out to lengthen. Breathe in to come back. Great, just keep that going. Breathing out as you're lengthening. Breathing in as you come back. What you need to watch out for with this exercise is that your hands don't start to walk. They end up getting put back further and further in different places. So make sure that each time they get placed back, that they are still underneath your shoulders, lengthening. And the other thing that happens is the shoulder, if you're not thinking too much about what's going on through here, this distance between your ear and your shoulder, as you lengthen your arm forwards, what happens is you sort of close that gap. So think about a nice big gap between your shoulder and your ear. One more on each side. Perfect, good. Come off your wrists if you need to, give them a little circle. And we'll go back and we're just going to mobilise through the spine. So from here we're going to go into that cat's cow position. So take a nice deep breath in. You're going to tuck your hips underneath and push your spine up towards the ceiling. And then sink down and through and lift through the tailbone. Lift your head to look at the wall in front of you. Okay, so deep breath in, tuck under, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Push your spine up as tall as you can. And breathe out as you sink through the spine and lift up. Good. Deep breath in, lift. And breathe out as you sink through. Good. Breathe in. And breathe out. Lovely. Last one. Breathe in, tuck under, lift. And breathe out as you sink down. Perfect. Come back to your neutral position. We're going to get some rotation and a bit of stretch going on through this. Now, if your low back is particularly sore and you don't like twisting too much, then just modify this one and go as far as you're comfortable. But what we're going to do is we're going to take one arm out, look towards your arm there, and then thread the arm through, draw the shoulder down. Good. Bring it through. So we're going to breathe in as you come up, and breathe out as you push through. Breathe in, come up to you how far you lift it up. Breathe out, push the arm through. Good. Breathe in as it comes up. Breathe out as it goes through. Last one on this side. Breathe in as it comes up. Breathe out as you push through. Lovely. Okay. And then we'll swap onto the other side. So regain your neutral position again. And we're going to take the arm up, look towards the ceiling. Breathe out as it pushes through. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, sink through. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just keep going with your breath cycle in your own time. And just enjoy the lengthening of your arm as you go through. You should feel a nice stretch across your shoulder blades. Try and work with the breathing. People get a little bit confused with the breathing sometimes, but it really doesn't matter. My advice to you is just make sure you are breathing. And just finish that up there. Okay, again, just sit back onto your heels. And we're just going to allow you just a nice stretch forward, lengthen through to your fingertips. Drop your head down. Good. Should feel the stretch across your shoulder blades as you do this one. We'll bring the stretch, come down into your side a little bit more. Keep your fingers or your hands as far away from you as you can and walk your hands around to the side. Just watch as you do this, your bottom hasn't come up. Keep your bottom onto your heels as much as you can. And then walk your hands around to the other side. And you'll just enjoy that stretch. You'll really feel that stretch coming down all the way through your side there. It should feel quite a nice stretch actually. Perfect. And just bring yourself back to sitting. Good. And then we can just finish up by just doing a few little shoulder rolls. Lovely. Bring your hands behind you. We can do this coming up onto your knees. Bring your hands behind you so you're sort of locking your hands down. So grab hold of one wrist and pull down. And so just keep your shoulders in the right position. And from here, imagine someone's grabbed like the back of your ponytail or the back of your head there and lifted it up towards the ceiling. And at the same time as it being lifted and lengthened, just nod your chin down towards your chest and just feel that stretch to the upper part of your neck. Perfect. From here, keep your chin down and look towards one shoulder. And then to the same shoulder, take the ear closest to it down. So if we're going to the right side, we look to the right, tilt to the right. You'll feel a nice stretch down the left side. Just hold that, keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath as you're doing this one. and then just very gently release out of that, but keep your chin tilted down. Turn around to the other side. So if we're going off to the left now, we're just looking round towards the left side, chin is still down. Feel that stretch first of all. Then if you feel comfortable and ready, so left ear goes to the left side as well. Perfect. And then just slowly release out of that. Bring your head round to the side, to the centre, and lift your head up. That's it, just let the arms just relax out. So that's a nice little series just to work on mobilising through the shoulders, getting some movement going through the upper back, and really concentrating on getting this sort of nice postural alignment so that we don't wind up like this the whole time. So I hope you enjoy.